Hi, Elizabeth. Can you hear me?
Yes, this is Elizabeth Vargas.
Hey, Elizabeth. All right. So I don't see Veronica or Tom yet. We'll wait a little bit more. I'm setting up the live stream through Facebook and YouTube. So there's that. How's your day going?
Busy, really busy, good.
I imagine.
I have to tell you, I have a conference call at 1:15, 1:20, so hopefully by then we are done.
150 or 15?
15.
Oh, wow. Do you want to go first?
I mean, I'm talking about my time. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you are 2 hours
that
behind,
would be,
right?
yeah, that would be one. No, what is it? What time is it there? I get all confused because I keep my time so on a post-it. I don't get confused because I'm in California.
Yeah. So right now it's 1:51 here.
Okay, it's about 2 p.m. No, I have it at 3:15, 3:20.
Okay. Yeah, we will try to keep it short. So probably if we can wrap up by 2 p.m. here. And I don't know if Veronica talked to you, but we are not doing a live Q&A.
A what?
We are not doing Q&As.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, there was a situation. We'll talk more about that, but yeah, probably the best thing to do would be just to tell everyone that if they have questions to reach out directly or any other place that they can find help.
I can answer questions on the IDOL, on the economic disaster loans. I have no problem with that. I mean, things are changing, and I know they had something new on Monday and Tuesday or Wednesday, very in the morning, they told us, don't talk about that.
Yeah.
So it's on the review and they're going to let us know. So, you know, they are changing, and I know the PPPs with more changes. So
yeah, so apparently that's what happened. Someone gave out some information that is not active anymore. So they were advised just to not answer questions before just making sure 100% is.
Yeah, I talked to Veronica, and you know, in the case of, I cannot talk about the PPP, but I tell them they must go to their lender, to their bank.
Yeah. So I sent you a request to start video if, in case you want to accept it, just for you to have that.
I thought it was gonna be only sound, but I mean, I don't mind.
However you want to do it.
Is other people gonna be on video?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. I don't know what. I'm in a hotel room, so
okay.
I didn't care, but I'm okay, I guess. Let me close the window so it's not as dark.
All right. So I'm wondering, where's Veronica?
It's still dark, right?
A little bit. There you go. That works.
Better? Okay. Maybe later on you want to have it in Spanish.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I just got a call from Univision that they need to have this more information in Spanish. So.
Okay, perfect. Let me call Tom.
Is everyone going to be able to see us?
Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm muting everyone, and just us, we will be able to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to take 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Sure.
No, 5 minutes. 3.
Okay.
All right, do you have everybody, you have the mute on for everybody else?
Hey, Thomas, this is Jorge from the chamber. Were you able to get in? Oh, okay. So what's your name? I'm looking for you at the names, but I can't see you. Let me see. You should have a name for Zoom. So I see one here that it's called staff. Or let's do this. Can you close it and then join again? Is Veronica with you? Oh. Okay. Let me know whenever you get in there. That way I can look into. I have Tony Garza, Hector Leal, but I can't see you. Right. The meeting. Yeah, correct. Yeah, you're right. Don't see you. Barb? No. Okay. So let's do this. Coronado? No, right? I'll let meet everyone because I had like a lobby, and then um click on I have the let me see some emotes there. So if you click on raise hand or something like that, I can let you in.
A mí me pasó lo mismo y abajo me salía open, como un documento abajo y fue como pude hacerlo. Diles que lo chequen.
So those of you who have joined us so far, I want to thank you. Jorge is in the process. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty with the SBA getting them online, and he's on the phone with them right now to work through that. But we should have him on here just in a couple of minutes if y'all just be patient with us. Thanks.
Hey guys, just give us 1 second. That way we can get this troubleshooting done. We'll start right over. Just give us 1 more second.
That conference thing at 2.
Good afternoon. This is Tom speaking.
Tom. Tom, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Awesome. Just give me 1 second.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I'm getting on a webinar deal, so I got a lot of background noise, but here's the report. So that's all the mail order. And then this is the boxes of fruit, like 40-pound boxes, like a choice grapefruit and oranges and lemons that we took. And then this is the total weight on the fruit and bins that we used.
Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. So let's get started. What I'm gonna do, Tom, is I am going to put your slides. Can you hear us, Tom?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. So let's get this started. Just give me 1 sec. All right, so let's get started. Thank you everyone for being patient and keeping up with this new technology has everyone displayed here. So hi everyone, my name is Jorge Sanchez. I work here at the McAllen Chamber of Commerce, and today we will be talking directly with the SBA. They will be explaining a little bit about the CARES Act and what opportunities are out there for small businesses especially on funding programs. So thank you everyone for joining us. With us, we have Thomas Hasenhauer. He's the Deputy Director of the district here. And we also have Elizabeth Vargas. She is the Public Information Officer from the Office of Disaster Assistance. First, let's go with you, Tom, and let's talk about what are the funding options out there, specifically PPP, and what other resources are out there for small businesses.
Okay, great. Do you have my slides? Let me put them up there.
So here you go.
Sure. Okay, next slide. Okay, everybody knows back on March 27th, the CARES Act was passed by the president and approved, and there's a link to it. We can email that stuff out to you all. Can we go to the next slide? So this is a breakdown of what all the funding opportunities are and where all the money went for the recovery. We had $10 billion for SBA emergency grants up to $10,000 to provide immediate relief for small business operations, option costs. There was an additional $17 billion set aside for 6 months worth of payments for small businesses that have existing loans. And then the big pool of $349 billion for the PPP program. So that's kind of just the breakdown of where the money is being allocated to. Next slide. So the program began last Friday, April 3rd, and the small businesses are able to apply along with private nonprofits, 501c, and other opportunities. And what it is basically 1% interest rate for small businesses and nonprofits with a 2-year maturity, which is like a 2-year term. The loan is 100% guaranteed by the SBA. There are no collateral, no personal guarantees, and no borrower or lender fees payable to SBA. Eligible recipients may qualify for up to a loan up to $10 million. That's determined by 8 weeks worth of your average payroll and 25% for additional costs. PPP is available until June 30th, 2020, or until the funds last. And basically the funds are used for payroll, mortgage interest, rents, utilities, to cover an 8-week period. A portion of the loan can be forgiven, and we'll talk about that at a later slide. But basically, if the funds are used for qualified mortgage interest, rents, or utilities, 75% of the loan can be forgiven. Next slide. So just a little bit more information. What can I use these loans for? And this breaks down, and what basically is all your payroll costs, including benefits, interest on your mortgage obligations accrued before February 15th, 2020, rents under lease agreements enforced before February 15th, and utilities and such before that same date. What counts as a payroll cost? These are all the different things. Basically, if you have any employee that makes under $100,000 a year, everything that goes into their payroll should count. So that's, let's sit on that one. And paid sick leave would be covered under PPP. Next slide. So this kind of gives you a breakdown of the different scenarios. The first column, if you have $120,000 in annual payroll and you don't have any employees that make over 100,000, your average monthly payroll would be 10,000, and you multiply that by 2.5, which would give you 25,000 max loan size. And another scenario, if you have, the second one is if you have employees, you have to deduct them from your average payroll, and that kind of breaks it all down. There's a lot of questions around the economic injury disaster loan. If you got monies from that, the 10,000, then that's just added to the maximum loan. Next slide. So here's some common questions that have been asked. The first question, where can I apply for a PPP program? There's a link here. We can send out an email to everybody with that if you don't have it already. You have to apply through a local lender. And this link will help you find one if you don't already have a lender that you want to use. We've been recommending that folks, business owners, go to your banker that you're currently working with and see if they're signed up with PPP to do your loan, and go from there. For some reason, if they're not, then you can click on that link, and there's numerous banks throughout the valley that can do the loan for you. Can I apply more than once for PPP? Nope, it's a one-time shot. It's for 8 weeks. You apply once. I did have a question the other day. A person owned multiple businesses and with separate entities and everything. It's on the business. So even if an owner has multiple businesses, the business can apply, but you can only apply once. Okay, next question. Can I apply for both the PPP and the economic injury disaster loan? The answer is yes. However, you can't double dip. So and Elizabeth will be talking about the disaster loan program. You just can't include the 8 weeks of payroll and the assistance that you get from PPP in the other loan as well. What do I need to apply? There's a form that was given to all the lenders that are participating called the SBA Form 2483, and they'll work with you on filling it out, and you'll provide all the necessary documentation that the lender is going to require you to complete your loan. So just work with your lender, and they should be able to walk you through that. Next question. Do independent contractors count as employees for purposes of PPP loan calculations? No, independent contractors can apply on their own. They're considered their own little small business, so they would apply on their own. There are some changes that are coming up to that. I don't have specific details yet, but as of today, they need to apply on their own. Next question. Are faith-based organizations, including houses of worship, eligible to receive SBA loans under PPP and the disaster loan program? I could say for PPP, it was opened up to churches late last week. So work with a local lender that you have a relationship. If you're a church or a religious organization, go ahead and reach out to one of the lenders and see if you can apply. And the next question, can my PPP loan be forgiven in whole or part? Yes, it can be forgiven. We'll go over this a little bit more on, I believe, the next slide. You'll work with your lender after the 8 weeks is up, and a portion of it can be forgiven. And excuse me. So at the end of the 8 weeks, you'll work with your lender and you can submit a request for forgiveness. The lender will get all of your information. The business owner is required to self-certify that all of the documentation is correct and that you spent the money on the things that you're saying. The lender will make a decision on the forgiveness within 60 days of when you apply for it. Next slide. So for our existing SBA small business owners who have taken out SBA loans, 7A loans and microloans have been deferred for 6 months. There's some guidance on there. The 504 loan program, if you're in that program, that too has up to 6 months consecutive. And then and Elizabeth, you might have to correct me on this one, but I believe any disaster loan that has been given out in the past is deferred until the end of the year. Next slide.
Yes, it's correct.
Go ahead. Elizabeth?
Yes, I just said it is correct. All disaster loans from previous disasters are deferred until December of 2020.
Great. I did have one caller yesterday on a call ask if that included home loans that were given to disaster victims when they applied for a disaster home loan. Is that also the case?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, great. Next slide. So these are just some of our resource partners that you can get some additional help on, including the chambers that are out there. We have our small business development centers. We have SCORE. For our veterans out there, we have the Veterans Business Outreach Center. And then these are a range of services that we can help you with other than just the finance. So supply chains, strategic planning and financial tune-ups, cash flow management. Social media is a big one now with everybody home. How can your businesses take advantage of selling online and things like that? All of these are resources to help assist you. Next slide. And then here's our contact information for those resources. We can also push that out and do an email to everybody so that you have it. And again, my name is Tom Hesnar. I'm the Deputy District Director here in Harlingen, and we handle the whole valley all the way up to Corpus. My office number is on there, and then I will be asking that we send out an email to everybody with my contact information for follow-up questions and such. So that ends my portion of PPP. Oh, we had one more slide. Sorry. These are some other information, some links. We have a SBA YouTube channel that'll broadcast the latest and greatest. I highly recommend you sign up for our newsroom. All of our news releases, when there's changes to the programs, you'll get an email on that, as well as our Twitter feed. Angela is the district director, and she tweets out daily things that are going on in the valley and updates. So those are three critical resources that will help you keep in the loop.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that, Thomas. With that said, can we move on with you, Elizabeth, and you explain our part in regards to the economic injury disaster loan?
Yes. Good afternoon to everyone. My name is Elizabeth Vargas. I'm a public information officer with the Office of Disasters of SBA, the Small Business Administration. Do you have my slides?
Yes, give me 1 second.
Okay, we're going to begin the economic injury disaster loans. I will explain a little bit. These loans always existed, well, for a long time have existed, and some of you probably have one from previous disaster. Last year you had the floodings in the area, and the year before. So as Tom said, these loans are going to be, the payments are deferred until December 31st of this year. And on these new loans, they're gonna be also deferred for 12 months from the date you receive your money. So who is eligible for these loans? Any business that has been affected by COVID-19 and has 500 or less employees and was in operation before January 21st of this year. Also the nonprofit organizations of any size, and these will include something new as of last week, churches and any faith-based organizations, any cooperatives, independent contractors, and sole proprietors. Next. The maximum amount of the loan is $2 million, and this is for working capital. These loans you can use for any fixed debts you have, any rents, accounts payable, or other debts that you already have, including payroll. The only thing is if you have a payment protection program loan or grant, you cannot use it for the same. You cannot use it for the same payments or the same employees' salaries. So the interest rate for businesses is 3.75%, and for nonprofits 2.75%, for a term up to 30 years. So your payments can be affordable. And as I said, these will be deferred. The payments will be deferred for 1 year. Up to $200,000 can be approved without a personal guarantee. No collateral is required for loans of $25,000 or less. For all loans greater than $25,000, a blanket UCC1 will be filed on business collateral. And these loans will be approved on the information in your application and a credit score. At the time that you apply, you don't need to submit any documents. And I lost. Sorry, I lost the screen. Okay, thanks to the CARES Act, these loans have a new modality. You can request an advance for up to $10,000 that may be available within a few days. It's an emergency advance. And after your application is received and it's successful, admitted in the system, you are going to get the money within a few days, hopefully, because as you know, this is nationwide and we're getting a lot of applications, but it's gonna be really quick. There is no requirement to repay this advance, even if your loan application is declined. This is very important. And you must request the advance at the time of your application. We used to have another system to do your economic injury disaster application. And now we have a streamlined application that is really easy, really quick to fill out. It's about 5 or 6 screens that you just have to fill out. So if you apply for this loan before April 29, you have to submit a new application. And this is not going to put your application, if you did have an application before, this is not going to put it back on the system or anything, but you still need to get a new application. Next. Okay, and as I said, we have a new streamlined application, and this is the link to get into it. It's COVID-19 relief.sba.gov. It's 100% online, as I said, and it takes about 15 minutes. I did it myself. No additional documents are required at the time of submitting your application. You may, after you submit your application, you're going to be contacted by an SBA loan officer, and then they will let you know if they need any other information and how you're going to get your money and when. There are no costs and no obligation to take the loan if you are approved. So don't worry about applying and then deciding otherwise. And then we have our customer service center, and it's 1-800-659-2955, and the email address for any questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Now, we have a couple of questions. Would you mind answering some of them?
No, of course.
Okay, so some people are mentioning that they have submitted their IDL loan. Where can they check the status?
On the 1-800 number. As of right now, the streamline application doesn't allow us to go back and check, but with your number that you receive, once you submitted the application, you can call the 1-800 number.
Perfect. What about to apply? Would they require the 2019 tax return?
Right now, you don't need to submit any documents.
Okay.
You just have to fill out the information on the streamline application.
Perfect. And does the loan depend on the credit score of the business owner?
Yeah, right now they are just taking into consideration the information that you put in your application and your credit score. But I have to say that they lower, I don't have the number, they don't give it out, but they lower it. So in order to help more businesses.
Perfect. Now, we are a border town, and a lot of businesses have owners that are foreigners. So what about partnerships with an international investor or partner? Would that qualify?
It's a case-by-case basis. I do know that as long as the business has tax returns, they may apply.
Okay.
And I always recommend don't disqualify yourself. Just apply, and there are no costs, and then let SBA talk to you and see what they can do.
Okay. Another question that we have here is that if a person has multiple businesses, can they apply only once for all or apply for each one of them?
It will depend on the structure of the business. I will go online, and if they do their taxes separately, I will recommend they do it separately. But they can also call the 1-800 number too and make sure, because we have loan officers available there and they can help them.
Perfect. Now, do you know more or less the timeline in regards to when they apply and when they will be having a response? I know that this is getting swamped right now since it's national, but do we have a time frame more or less?
They're trying to do it within a week, but to tell you the truth, right now it's gonna be probably about 2 weeks. But we're not even allowed to give a time frame because this disaster is so different from the ones before. You know, this is not only in one area or a state; it's nationwide. But I will say after you fill out your application, I will just wait 1 week and call the 1-800 number.
Good tip on that. There's another question by David. I'll read it. I recently heard that the IEDL advance will be restricted and be advanced at $1,000 per employee, maxed out at 10,000. Is this true?
I know the emergency advance is calculated on the number of employees they have, but it's not something official. But remember, this advance, you don't have to repay. It converts into a grant, basically. So if you get approved for whatever amount you get approved, you don't have to pay it back. So I will apply.
Okay. Have you heard anything else on getting more funds available for businesses out there? I know that there was an initial $359 billion out there. Is there anything else that will be added?
Well, I know I was in a conference call with a senator yesterday, and he was talking about looking into that.
Okay. I know
official information.
Okay. Okay. So there's an interesting question here. It says, my application was turned down for credit score. Can I reapply to request emergency advance funds?
Yes, I will recommend you apply. And if it was turned down before, I mean, over a week ago or so, I will reapply because, as I said, I understand they lowered the requirement on the credit score, so they might qualify. So I will definitely apply again.
Well, okay. Now, what about businesses that rely on 1099 employees?
I will apply and go from there and
Okay.
let SBA, respond.
Yeah. At this point,
Always, in specific questions, it's better. They can even call the 1-800 number because the loan officers are the experts.
Yeah.
Because it's a loan and it's a case by case basis.
Yeah. Yeah. At this point, that was what I was about to say. Is pretty much case by case. And long story short, if you're applying for PPP, you should contact your lender, whatever banking company you use, and if it's for the EIDL, directly with the SBA. Is that correct?
Yes, at the sba.gov/coronavirus, you can get all the information. And for the EIDL, they can just call directly the line. I know right now there is a waiting time. I did it myself yesterday, and I waited. Well, for the Spanish line, I was just making sure that there was a Spanish help. And it took me about 39 minutes to get someone on the line. But I mean, I don't think it's bad. I have waited that amount of time in other cases.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
For the electricity company or something, right?
Yeah.
And that was for Spanish speakers. I wanted to make sure that there was help for speakers. I'm sure for just regular English speakers, there should be and it depends on the time that you call. Of course, I call, I don't know, 9 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, and probably that's a good tip. If you talk Spanish, maybe that line is faster than the English one, since we have a lot of applications. I think we will go ahead and wrap up this meeting. We'll make all the slides available. Just reach out to us. Elizabeth, how can they reach out to you if they have more questions specifically about the information presented?
You can send my email, elizabeth.vargas@sba.gov.
Okay.
And I would be happy to answer. And again, as I said, if it's a specific question about your business structure, it's best to call the experts at the 1-800 number.
Totally.
But,
can she repeat the 1-800 number, please?
It's actually on the screen.
Yes.
It's 800-659-2955.
Okay, and I had a quick question because I'm not on a computer, I'm over the phone. I did look at the EDIL and it says it takes 2 hours to do the online application, and you said 15 minutes.
No, maybe they were talking about the old application. This is a streamlined application and I did it myself. So I know it's 6 screens and that's it. So it takes you 15 minutes. I did it myself. It's a new application that I think began, it went online April 1st or something like that. So even if you applied on the old application, you have to reapply on this one. And then you have the chance to apply for the emergency advance up to $10,000.
Awesome. Well, Elizabeth and Tom, thank you very much for your time today. If anyone out there wants the slides or information from our speakers, I'll be happy to share it. My email is jsanchez@mcallenchamber.com, or you can call us and I'll be happy to share all that information. Elizabeth, Tom, thank you very much for your time. And thank you guys for doing this for small businesses.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Thank you.